Happy New Year! Thank you so much for coming by and checking out this vlog. Since I launched my YouTube channel this year, I've had nothing but support and just kind words from family and friends. So thank you so much for coming back and continuing to support my content. This year has been such a wild year, and I feel like every year when we get to the end of the year or the beginning of a new year, everyone just says, the previous year was so crazy, you know, lots of ups and downs. And I'm here to talk about exactly that. And 2020 was a really crazy year for me, even, you know, outside of COVID-19. So whilst COVID-19 is such a horrible thing that happened, and with the pandemic and the tragic losses associated with that, I'm very grateful firstly that I'm in a country or a city really that wasn't so much impacted by COVID-19, and I'm extremely grateful for that. What it's also allowed me to do, because we still had to stay indoors nonetheless, is develop on my passions and creativity and just new hobbies. Basically, I've really started diving into content creation, cooking, and just the little hobbies that I didn't think that I would get into or be interested in, but really I think I just didn't have the time. So other than that, there's also been some progression in terms of my career. That has also been very up and down. Because I was in a finite project, it was sort of coming to an end, but COVID-19 sort of put a pause on any announcements or changes to the structure of our organisation groups. But at the end of November, you may have watched my previous vlog, I'd announced that I was getting made redundant from a company that I'd spent the last 10 years in. And plot twist, on my final day, HR gave me a call and they come back with the results or recruitment results of a job that I'd applied for a little while ago, and they had asked if I wanted to interview it. Now, well aware that it was my final day, long story short, I was offered a 12-month project management stint. And I accepted it, and I'm very grateful for it, because what I was going to do with my redundancy, I wasn't able to do because of COVID-19. I'd always wanted to do a 3 to 4 month trip to Europe, maybe stay 2 months by the beach and 2 months by the snow, and it was going to be a solo trip of self-discovery and independence. And I didn't get a chance to do that. So now, hopefully, with the next 12 months, I'm embarking on one of the most challenging and exciting career opportunities ever. I'm really enjoying the role, and hopefully by the end of it, I'll still get to go to Europe. The reason I want to do this Europe trip is because it's always been something that I've wanted to do prior to settling down. And I feel like when I get my redundancy, it'll likely be the only window in my life where I have my youth, time, and money all at the same time. So that's probably going to be my outlook for 2022, but we shall see. So whilst there were many great things that happened in 2020, there were also some heartbreaking moments that really tested who I was as a person, and it made me question a lot about my life and the people that I surround myself with. My dad had suffered from a stroke in late 2019, and that sort of carried on until early 2020. And good news is he was discharged in Feb, and he's come out much better than we could have anticipated. So I am extremely grateful for that. And that was middle of February. And then in late February, on my brother's birthday, my grandma passed away, and that really broke my heart, because her and I were very close. When I was younger, she looked after me for a period of time, and I used to call her once a week. I'd go to Hong Kong to see her, and she just taught me a lot about life, and she was just very real. She wasn't a kind, gentle grandma in any means, but I think that's why I loved her so much, because she was very real and honest. And I miss her a lot, but she'd lived a very good life. I think one of the things that makes me the most upset is that because she'd passed away during the COVID peak period in Hong Kong, she would have been quite lonely in her final weeks. because she was in hospital and they had limited visitation rights because of, you know, the risk of spreading the disease. So COVID-19, whilst everyone talks about the devastation of the illness and the lives lost, I think it's important to acknowledge that it's also a very, very lonely illness for those who are impacted regardless of whether they have it or not. And I know people who have suffered greatly from being restricted from social interactions, and just the sudden break in routine in life has been very difficult. And initially I didn't take it quite well either, because I'm an extrovert and I love going out and I love, you know, activities and seeing my friends and all that. But that forced retreat has really helped me reflect and realize more about myself and more about my life. So I guess whilst COVID-19 is a very terrible thing that has happened, part of me is grateful because it's helped me discover a lot about myself. So other than family, relationships have also been a bit of a up and down for me in 2020. And I've built much deeper connections with a lot of people who, you know, you've got your acquaintances and you've got your friends, and I'm really starting to bond with. And then there are also friends that have sort of just fizzled out as well. And that's okay. We're all on different journeys and different learnings in our life. So 2020 has really shown me that, and I've become a lot more accepting of sort of things that happen, particularly because my personality makes it very hard for me to let go of places, things, events, people, etc. I think that was very refreshing to have that realization and discovery for myself as well, in terms of looking into my relationships. So in 2020, other than obviously exploring some of that creativity and having all those things happen, I think another thing that I learned to do was love my own body. And I've always been a very confident person. I've just never really loved my body. And the thing that surprises me the most is we've gotten so sensitive about, you know, calling people fat. You know, there's that stigma where you don't really want to comment on someone's weight. And I'm not trying to be offensive, that's not my intention, but there's so much stigma behind, you know, you can't suggest that somebody is large, or you can't, you know, don't ask them if they're pregnant, and that sort of thing, you know, love your own body. But the same rules don't seem to apply for people who are skinny and want to gain weight. You know, my people that I come across, they have no qualms in telling me that I need to eat a burger, or, you know, oh, you need to gain some weight, you need to eat more. It is in my genetics that I'm skinny, and part of my 2020 goal was actually to gain weight. It's actually been my goal to gain weight for quite some time now, and it's more to do with, I want to fit my clothes better, I want to feel better. In 2018, end of 2018, I was in the prime of my health and fitness and ideal sort of body shape and my image. And when I tell people that I want to get back to that, there's some confusion as to why do I want to gain weight? Why would I want to build muscle? You know, you're a female. Maybe you shouldn't build so much muscle. And it's extremely disappointing that in the 21st century that there's this misconception that women still care about how they should present themselves to men. Like, men, if you're going to tell me that my body goals aren't attractive to you, I have a question for you. Who told you that I am looking to attract you? Serious question. And so I've learned to love my body in 2020 because of the things that was happening in my life that wasn't so ideal. I hadn't been looking after myself, and I hadn't been eating healthy. I'd stopped going to the gym. You know, I had to visit dad a lot, and my relationship in early 2020 was very up and down. And you know, you'd be surprised how much your relationships, be it friends or otherwise, impact your mental and emotional health. And that's why it's so important to think about who you surround your life with and who you have around you that can uplift you and help you grow, and people that you also want to help and you also want to flourish and nourish as well. So in 2020, I got back and jumped back onto that fitness bandwagon, and now I'm on my way to sort of becoming a fitter, healthier me. I'm still trying to gain weight and gain mass and gain more muscle, and that is absolutely okay. I want everybody to know that whatever your body goals are, as long as you're healthy, it is absolutely okay. And certainly I think the awareness for health needs to be a little bit more prominent. So yeah, I'm extremely grateful for my family and friends, and I say that a lot, and it's because I wouldn't be who I am today without them. And there are so many moments where I've come to realize that at any given time, when I was an asshole, this person could have just given up on me. And there have been times where I haven't been at my best, and the people that are currently still in my life have stuck through that. And I'm extremely grateful, and I love you guys. So here's to a new year with new experiences, new insights, prosperity, happiness, and health. What am I looking forward to in 2021? I'm looking forward to finally smashing out my MBA. This is my, in the next 12 months, I will have completed it, and I am really looking forward to it. Like, let me tell you guys, studying as an adult or studying and working at the same time is no joke. It is so difficult, and you know, I've had a few people come and ask me, how are you finding studying and working full-time? So just to clarify, I am studying part-time. I'm trying to complete my MBA. And it's still incredibly hard, you know, but I would highly recommend it. It's not that, I think I would recommend that anybody study if you are doing it for the right reasons. I feel like you would benefit from studying a lot more if you were doing it to build on your passions and to continue work towards being a more educated and better version of yourself in order to be able to fulfill whatever you have in terms of dreams and passions and career development. So studying, very difficult, but I'm loving it, and I'm loving all that I'm learning. I am looking forward to continuing to build on my relationships and friendships, spending more time with my family and family dog Milo. I think realizing my family's mortality in 2020 for me has led me to appreciating my family a lot more. And don't get me wrong, they are incredibly frustrating and very hard to associate with sometimes. They don't get me. I don't know if I could have a D&M with my mom or my dad, but I love them very much. And the reason that I'm able to sit here and make a YouTube video, the fact that I've got a great job, the reason that I'm able to have a think about going to Europe on a self-discovery journey is because they left their country so that I could have a better life, and my life has been enriched as a result of their choices. So I'm extremely thankful for that, and they have done so much for my brother and I. Anyway, I've gone on a appreciating ranting spiel, but I'm going to try and spend more time with them. My family dog Milo is 13, going 14 this year, so he's also aging, and I'm trying to give him the best life that I can for as long as we have him for. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to building a stronger, healthier me. I'm going to appreciate my body. I'm going to appreciate my life. I'm also going to continue to embark on my sustainable fashion or sustainable clothing journey. That kickstarted in 2020 when I took a sustainability course or unit in my MBA, and I realized that there's a lot of issues in the world, right? But there are some that are so easily progressively resolved, or at least take steps towards resolving, that we can do right now. And part of that is not consuming as much, thinking about what we're consuming, where it ends up, where it came from, what we're doing, and just being more conscious. So that's been part of my sustainability journey in 2020, and I hope to continue that in 2021. I'm starting an upcycling project, and hopefully I will see that to fruition. I know you're not supposed to talk about your plans or your road to success, but I feel like if I talk about it, it's going to help me hold myself accountable, because now it's on video and I have to do it. So hopefully I will build that momentum myself and continue on that upcycling sustainability journey that I've been really putting off. Other than that, I'm hoping to just be the best version of me, mentally, emotionally, physically. I've realized how important mental and emotional health is, and it's just as easy to deteriorate mentally, emotionally, just as you are physically if you're not looking after yourself. And you really have to be aware of what's contributing to best healthy you and promote more of that, and perhaps let go of things that aren't serving that purpose anymore. I'm going to continue with creativity and content creation in 2021, and I'm really looking forward to that, because I have a long way to go and I'm well aware of it. I am just wanting to put things out there and build my confidence. I think I've done a pretty good job. Whilst I'm an extrovert, I've always had self-esteem issues, and that stemmed from, I feel like everything stems from our childhood, but my self-esteem issues did stem from my childhood because I was subjected to racism, and then when I grew a little bit older and started working, it was sexism and ageism. So for a long period of time, I sort of just felt like I wasn't good enough. And this year, 2020 has led me to be a lot more confident in myself and a lot more confident in who I am, and embrace my culture, my being. So I will continue to do that and continue to develop. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking out my vlog. I will try and upload a little bit more often and just keep my material a little bit more consistent, but no guarantees, because I'm still exploring and I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. But whatever it is, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for your ongoing support. Happy New Year. Take care.
One more time, say Can I ask you a question? Are you feeling the distance? Every single second we're apart. I know it wasn't expected that we'd have this connection, but it's best to finish what we start. So if there's an ocean between us, babe,